The subway screeched to a halt, and I stumbled out, my heart pounding like it was trying to escape my chest. I was late for the interview that could land me a column at the New York Pulse, the kind of break every journalist dreams of. But there on the platform was the one person I never expected to see again. Maya Torres, the woman who'd shattered me 3 years ago. I froze, my leather notebook clutched against my blazer. The crowd surged around us, a blur of briefcases and earbuds, but Maya stood out like a painting in a gray world. Her wavy black hair spilled over her shoulders, and her brown eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made my knees weak. She was still breathtaking. Still the artist who'd once promised me forever before vanishing without a word. "Ellie," she said, her voice soft but piercing like a melody I tried to forget. "You're here." I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. Instead, I stood there, 28 years old and feeling like the 25-year-old who'd cried herself to sleep after Maya left. Back then, we'd been inseparable, two women carving out a life in Brooklyn, dreaming of art galleries and bylines. I was the aspiring journalist, she was the painter with a fire in her soul. We'd spent nights tangled in each other's arms, whispering about a future where we'd conquer the world together. But one morning I woke up to an empty apartment and a note. "I'm sorry. I can't." No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. Now here she was on a Manhattan subway platform, looking at me like I was the one who'd left. My interview was in 30 minutes and every second mattered, but my feet wouldn't move. "Why now, Maya?" I asked, my voice sharper than I meant. "Why here?" She stepped closer, her canvas bag brushing my arm. "I didn't know you'd be here. I swear. I'm back in the city. For good. For good." I laughed, bitter. "You don't get to just show up and say that." "I know," she said, her eyes glistening. "But I owe you an explanation. I owe you more than that." I glanced at my watch. 28 minutes. The Pulse office was 10 blocks away, and I could already feel my dreams slipping through my fingers. But Maya's presence was a gravitational pull, dragging me back to a past I'd buried. I wanted answers. I needed them. And yet, every second I stood here risked everything I'd worked for. "Walk with me," I said finally, turning toward the exit. "You've got 10 blocks to explain why you broke my heart." The streets of Manhattan were chaos. Taxis honking, pedestrians weaving. The city alive with its relentless pulse. Maya kept pace beside me, her boots clicking against the sidewalk. I didn't look at her, afraid I'd lose my nerve if I did. My mind was split. Half on the interview, half on the woman who'd once been my everything. "I was scared," Maya began, her voice barely audible over the city noise. "Back then I wasn't ready for us. For how big it felt. Big." I snapped, dodging a bike courier. "You left me without a word, Maya. I thought you were dead for a week until your sister told me you'd moved to Chicago." She flinched. "I know." I panicked. My art wasn't selling, my family was pressuring me to settle down. And I felt like I was failing you. Failing us. I stopped at a crosswalk, the "Don't Walk" sign glaring red. "So you ran? That's your excuse." "No," she said, her voice breaking. "It's not an excuse. It's the truth. I thought you deserved better than someone who was falling apart." I wanted to hate her. God, I tried. But her words cracked something open inside me. A wound I'd bandaged but never healed. The light changed and we crossed, the Pulse building looming closer. I could see its glass facade, a beacon of everything I'd fought for since she left. Late nights writing freelance pieces, scraping by on coffee and ambition. "Why come back?" I asked, my voice softer now. "Why now, when I'm finally putting myself first?" Maya hesitated, her fingers brushing the strap of her bag. "I got clean," she said quietly. I was struggling with pills back then. I didn't tell you because I was ashamed. I went to Chicago to get help, to start over. But I never stopped thinking about you." Her confession hit like a punch. Pills? How had I not seen it? I'd been so wrapped up in my own dreams, in us, that I'd missed the signs. Guilt twisted in my chest, but anger surged too. "You could have told me," I said. I would have helped you. I know, she whispered. That's why I left. I didn't want to drag you down with me. We were 3 blocks from the Pulse now. My phone buzzed, a reminder of the interview. I could feel the weight of it all. The job, my future, and Maya standing here, unraveling everything I thought I knew. I wanted to scream at her, to tell her she didn't get to waltz back into my life. But I also wanted to hold her, to rewind time to when we were just 2 women in love, unafraid. Ellie, she said, stopping me just outside a coffee shop. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Not yet. But I'm here and I'm trying to be better. For me. For maybe us. I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time since the platform. Her eyes were tired but clear. Her face carrying the weight of years I hadn't seen. She was still Maya but different, stronger maybe. Broken but mending. I have to go, I said, my voice thick. This interview, it's everything. I know, she said, stepping back. But if you ever want to talk, I'm at the old loft in Brooklyn. I'm not running anymore. I nodded, unable to say more. As I turned toward the Pulse building, my heart was a battlefield. Hope, hurt, and ambition colliding. I didn't know if I could trust her again. But as I stepped into the elevator, one thought burned brighter than the rest. Maya was back, and my life was about to change in ways I couldn't predict. The elevator doors slid shut, and I leaned against the wall, my breath shaky. Maya's words echoed in my head. I'm not running anymore. But I was running. Straight into the most important moment of my career, with her ghost trailing behind me. The Pulse office was a sleek, modern maze of glass and steel. I smoothed my blazer, checked my reflection in the elevator's mirrored wall, and tried to focus. Ellie Harper, 28, journalist, ready to pitch a column that could redefine investigative reporting. I'd spent months preparing, researching corruption in New York's art scene. A topic I knew inside out, thanks to Maya's world. Irony at its finest. The receptionist, a sharp-eyed woman named Claire, led me to a conference room. Miss Delgado's running a few minutes late, she said, gesturing to a chair. Make yourself comfortable. I sat, my notebook open, but my mind was elsewhere. Maya, clean and back in Brooklyn. Maya, who'd left me to pick up the pieces alone. I'd rebuilt myself, new apartment, new goals, new walls around my heart. But seeing her had cracked those walls, and now doubt seeped through. Could I trust her? Did I want to? The door opened and Sofia Delgado, the Pulse's editor-in-chief, swept in. She was a legend, mid-40s, with a commanding presence and a reputation for spotting talent. Ellie Harper, she said, shaking my hand. Your pitch on art world corruption caught my eye. Let's hear it. I launched into my presentation, my voice steady despite the chaos in my chest. I talked about galleries inflating prices, artists exploited by shady dealers, and the underground network of forgeries flooding Manhattan. My research was airtight, names, dates, transactions. Sophia nodded, her pen tapping the table. Impressive, she said when I finished. But it's missing something. Heart. Why does this matter to you? I froze. The question hit too close. The art world wasn't just a story, it was Maya's world, our world, back when we'd wander galleries, her pointing out brushstrokes while I scribbled ideas for articles. It was personal, but I couldn't say that. Not here. It matters because it's about truth, I said, recovering. Artists deserve a fair shot, not to be pawns in a rigged game. Sophia leaned back, studying me. Good. But I want more of you in this. Dig deeper. Can you do that? Yes, I said, my confidence returning. I'll make it personal. She smiled. Good. We'll follow up next week. Don't let me down, Ellie. I left the office on a high, the city sparkling below me. I'd nailed it, or at least I hadn't crashed. But as I stepped onto the street, Maya's face flashed in my mind. I needed answers, and I needed them now. I took the subway to Brooklyn, my heart a tug-of-war between excitement and dread. The old loft was in Dumbo, a brick building with graffiti-covered walls and a view of the East River. Maya had always loved it, the light, the space, the way it felt alive. I hadn't been back since she left. I knocked and the door opened almost instantly. Maya stood there, still in her jacket, like she'd been waiting. "You came," she said, her voice soft with surprise. "I need to know everything," I said, stepping inside. The loft smelled of paint and coffee just like it used to. Canvases lined the walls, vibrant and raw, each one screaming Maya's talent. I hated how much I still loved her art. We sat on her worn leather couch, and she told me everything. The pills had started as a way to cope. Family pressure, rejection from galleries, the fear of never being enough. "I was drowning," she said, her hands twisting together. "I thought leaving would save you from me." "You didn't get to decide that," I said, my voice sharp. "I loved you, Maya. I would have fought for you." Tears welled in her eyes. "I know, but I didn't trust myself to stay." We talked for hours, the city fading into night outside. She told me about rehab, about painting again, about coming back to New York to rebuild. I told her about the pulse, about the column, about the hole she'd left in my life. It was raw, messy, and real, two women untangling a past that still bound us. As I left, she grabbed my hand. "Ellie, I'm not asking you to take me back, but I want to earn your trust again. One day at a time." I nodded, my throat tight. "Maybe, but I need time." Back in my tiny apartment, I stared at my notebook, Sophia's words ringing in my ears. "Dig deeper." The column wasn't just about corruption, it was about the people caught in it, like Maya, like me. I started writing, pouring my heart onto the page, knowing this story could change everything. The cursor blinked on my laptop screen, taunting me. I'd been up since dawn, trying to rewrite my column pitch with the heart Sophia demanded. But every sentence felt like a tightrope walk between truth and exposure. How much of Maya's story, of our story, could I tell without losing myself? I sipped coffee, the Brooklyn morning quiet except for the distant rumble of the subway. My apartment was small but mine, filled with secondhand furniture and stacks of notebooks. It was my sanctuary, built from the ashes of Maya's departure. Yet here I was writing about her world again. My phone buzzed, a text from Maya. "Can we meet? I found something you need to see." I stared at it, torn. I promised myself time, distance. But curiosity and something deeper pulled me. "Where?" I texted back. "My studio. Noon. It's about your story." Maya's loft was a chaos of color. Canvases leaned against every wall, some half-finished, others glowing with life. She was in paint-splattered jeans, her hair tied back, a smudge of blue on her cheek. "Thanks for coming," she said, gesturing to a table covered in papers. "What's this?" I asked, eyeing the stack, letters, receipts, gallery contracts. "Proof," she said, her voice steady. "About the corruption you're writing about. I kept records when I was struggling. Dealers who cheated me, galleries that fake sales. It's messy, but it's real." I scanned the documents, my journalist's instincts kicking in. Names I'd heard whispered in art circles. Dealers known for exploiting young artists like Maya. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" I asked. "I wasn't ready," she admitted. "But you're writing about it now, and I want to help." We spent the afternoon sorting through the papers. Each one was a piece of her past, a reminder of the pressure that had driven her to pills, to running. My anger softened, replaced by awe at her resilience. She'd fought her way back, and now she was fighting for truth. "You don't have to do this," I said, stacking the last contract. "This could drag you back into that world." "I know," she said, meeting my eyes. "But I owe it to you. And to myself." The air between us crackled, heavy with history. I wanted to reach for her to close the gap, but I held back. "I'll use this," I said instead. "But I'm protecting your name." She nodded, a small smile breaking through. "I trust you, Ellie." Back home, I wove Maya's evidence into my pitch. The column took shape, a searing exposé on the art world's underbelly, but with a human core. The artists like Maya who'd been chewed up and spit out. I wrote about their dreams, their losses, and their fight to keep creating. It was personal, raw, and true. I sent the draft to Sophia, my heart pounding. If she liked it, this could be my break. If she didn't, I didn't want to think about it. The next day, I met Maya for coffee, needing to clear my head. We sat in a cozy shop in Williamsburg, the kind of place we used to haunt. "How's the story?" she asked, stirring her latte. "Sent it," I said. "Now I wait." She reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine. "You're going to kill it, Ellie. You always do." Her touch sent a jolt through me, and for a moment I let myself feel it, the pull that had always been there. But I pulled back, my walls still up. "Thanks," I said, my voice tight. "But I need to focus right now." "I get it," she said, her eyes soft. "I'm here though. Whenever you're ready." As I left, my phone pinged. An email from Sophia. "Ellie, this is it. Come in tomorrow. We're running with it." My heart soared, but as I walked through Brooklyn, Maya's words lingered. Whenever you're ready. The question was, would I ever be? Sophia's office was a whirlwind of energy. Phones ringing, editors shouting, the hum of a newsroom in full swing. I sat across from her, my revised pitch spread out on her desk. "This is bold, Ellie," she said, tapping the pages. "We're publishing it next month. Front page of the culture section." I could barely breathe. "Thank you." I managed, my voice trembling. This was it, my column, my voice in print for all of New York to see. "But," Sophia added, leaning forward, "this is just the start. I want you to keep digging. Find more voices, more stories. Make this a series." A series. The weight of it thrilled and terrified me. I nodded, already thinking of Maya's documents, of the artists we could expose. "I'm in," I said. I celebrated that night at a dive bar in the East Village, surrounded by friends who'd stuck by me through the lean years. Lena, my best friend, raised a glass. To Ellie, about to take over New York. Everyone cheered, but my mind wandered to Maya. I hadn't told her the news yet. I texted her. "It's happening. Front page." Her reply was instant. "I knew you'd do it. Drinks on me?" I hesitated. Drinks meant stepping closer to her, risking the walls I'd built. But I was riding a high, and part of me wanted her to see it. "Tomorrow," I texted back. "My place." The next night, Maya showed up with a bottle of wine and a shy smile. My apartment felt too small with her in it, her presence filling every corner. We sat on my couch, the city lights flickering through the window. "I'm proud of you," she said, pouring the wine. "This is what you always wanted." "Not always," I said, the words slipping out before I could stop them. Her eyes met mine and the air shifted, heavy with what we weren't saying. "Ellie," she started, then stopped, setting her glass down. "I know I hurt you, but I'm different now. I want to show you that." I looked at her, at the woman who'd once been my world. "I want to believe you," I said. "But I'm scared, Maya. You broke me once." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I know. And I'll spend every day proving I won't again." We didn't kiss, didn't touch. But we talked, really talked, until the wine was gone and the city was quiet. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start. The next week, I dove into the series, tracking down artists who'd been scammed by the same dealers Maya had named. Each interview was a knife to the heart. Stories of dreams crushed, lives derailed. But they fueled me, made me want to fight harder. Maya helped, connecting me with her old contacts. We worked side by side some nights, her sketching while I wrote. The loft filled with a quiet rhythm that felt like us, but new. I caught myself watching her sometimes, wondering if we could rebuild what we'd lost. One night, she showed me a new painting. A vibrant swirl of blues and golds, inspired by the city. "It's you," she said softly. "Fearless, bright, unstoppable." I blushed, my heart racing. "I'm not fearless," I said. "I'm terrified." "Of what?" she asked, stepping closer. "Of you," I admitted. Of this. She didn't push, just nodded. I'll wait, she said. As long as it takes. As I left, my phone buzzed. A tip from an artist about a major gallery fraud. This was bigger than I'd thought and dangerous. But with Maya by my side, I felt ready to face it. The tip led me to a gallery in Chelsea. A sleek space with white walls and overpriced art. The owner, Victor Crane, was a name from Maya's documents. A man known for promising young artists fame, then bleeding them dry. I posed as a buyer, my recorder hidden in my bag, and got him talking. New talent is tricky, Crane said, sipping scotch. You have to mold them, control the narrative. Some don't make it, but that's the game. His words were a goldmine, but they made my skin crawl. I thought of Maya, of how he'd strung her along before she broke. I left with enough for a bombshell article but a gnawing sense of danger. Back at Maya's loft, I played her the recording. Her face darkened. That's him, she said. He promised me a solo show. Then sold my work under someone else's name. We'll get him, I said, my voice fierce. This series will expose them all. Maya looked at me, her eyes intense. Be careful, Ellie. These people don't play nice. I nodded, but I was already in too deep. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. Drop the story, a man's voice said, low and threatening. Or you'll regret it. My heart raced, but I didn't back down. I told Sophia, who assigned me a security detail and pushed for faster publication. This is big, Ellie, she said. But watch your back. Maya insisted on staying close, worried about the threat. We spent more time together, working, talking, rebuilding trust. One night, as rain pounded the loft's windows, she reached for my hand. I'm scared for you, she said. But I'm here. Always. Her touch was electric, and for the first time in years I didn't pull away. I let her hold me. Her warmth a reminder of what we'd been. I'm scared too, I whispered. But I can't stop. I know, she said, her lips brushing my forehead. That's why I love you. The words hung between us, heavy and true. I didn't say them back. Not yet, but they settled in my chest, a spark of something I wasn't ready to name. The first article hit and the art world shook. Artists came forward, sharing their stories. My inbox overflowed with tips, threats, and praise. Sophia was thrilled, but I felt the weight of every word I'd written. This wasn't just a story. It was a fight for people like Maya, for justice. As the series grew, so did the danger. I noticed a car following me one night, its headlights too close. Maya started staying at my place, her presence a comfort and a complication. We were dancing on the edge of something, and I didn't know if I was ready to fall. The car followed me again the next night, its shadow lurking in my rearview mirror. I called Sophia, who connected me with a private investigator, a gruff woman named Rachel who specialized in corporate corruption. You've rattled cages, Ellie, she said. Crane's got friends in high places. Rachel's digging confirmed my fears. Crane was linked to a network of dealers laundering money through fake art sales. My series was peeling back layers of a criminal empire. And they weren't happy. Keep writing, Rachel said. But stay sharp. Maya became my anchor. We worked late into the night, her sketching while I typed, our rhythm familiar yet new. One evening she showed me a painting. A portrait of me, my eyes fierce, my pen a weapon. This is how I see you, she said. Unstoppable. I blushed, my heart caught between fear and longing. I'm not unstoppable, I said. I'm just stubborn. She laughed, and for a moment we were us again, two women dreaming big. But the threats loomed and I couldn't ignore them. Rachel suggested I lay low, but I refused. The next article was due, and I had a lead on a whistleblower, an artist who'd worked for Crane. I met the whistleblower, a nervous young woman named Priya, in a crowded diner. She slid me a USB drive. This has everything, she whispered. Contracts, emails, proof of the laundering. But they're watching me. I took the drive, my pulse racing. That night, I backed it up and sent copies to Sophia and Rachel. The evidence was explosive, enough to bring Crane down. But as I left the diner, I noticed a man lingering across the street, his eyes on me. I told Maya everything, my voice shaking. She pulled me close, her arms steady. "We'll get through this," she said. "Together." That word "together" felt like a promise. I leaned into her, letting myself feel the warmth of her embrace. "I'm falling for you again," I admitted, my voice barely audible. "And it terrifies me." She cupped my face, her eyes searching mine. "I'm not going anywhere, Ellie. Not this time." We kissed, soft and tentative, like stepping into a memory. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was hope, a fragile, beautiful thing. The next article dropped, naming Crane and his network. The fallout was immediate. Galleries shut down, artists spoke out, and the FBI took notice. But the threats escalated. A brick through my apartment window, a note, "Stop or else." Maya refused to leave my side. We moved to a safe house Rachel arranged, a small apartment in Queens. There, we rebuilt our connection piece by piece. We cooked together, laughed, cried. One night I told her I loved her. She said it back, and for the first time in years I believed her. The safe house was cramped but warm, a temporary refuge from the storm my articles had unleashed. Maya and I fell into a rhythm, writing, painting, loving. But the danger was never far. Rachel called daily with updates. Crane was under investigation, but his allies were still out there watching. One night, as we lay in bed, Maya traced circles on my hand. "What happens when this is over?" she asked. "When it's just us, no threats, no story?" I didn't have an answer. The series had consumed me, but so had she. "I want there to be an us," I said finally. "But I need to know you're all in." "I am," she said, her voice fierce. "I've never been more sure." The next article was the hardest yet. I wrote about Priya, about Maya, about the human cost of Crane's greed. Sophia called it my best work, but it felt like bleeding onto the page. When it published, the response was overwhelming. Support from artists, outrage from the public, and a subpoena for Crane. But the threats didn't stop. One evening, Rachel called with bad news. Priya had gone missing. My stomach dropped. "We're doing everything we can," Rachel said. "But you need to stay put." I told Maya, and her face paled. "This is my fault," she said. "I brought you those documents." "No," I said, grabbing her hands. "This is Crane's fault. And we're ending it." We worked with Rachel to trace Priya, following leads from the USB drive. It led us to a warehouse in Long Island City, a hub for Crane's fake art deals. Rachel warned us to stay away, but I couldn't. Priya deserved better. We went at night, Maya insisting on coming. The warehouse was dark, crates stacked high. We found Priya tied up, shaken but alive. As we freed her, footsteps echoed, Crane's men. We hid, my heart pounding, Maya's hand in mine. Rachel's team arrived just in time, arresting the men. Priya was safe, but the close call shook me. Back at the safe house, Maya held me as I cried. "We did it," she whispered. "You saved her." "We saved her," I corrected, my voice raw. "I couldn't have done this without you." The series was a sensation, but I was exhausted. Sophia offered me a full-time position, but I asked for a break. I needed time with Maya, with myself. We left the safe house, returning to Brooklyn, to a new normal we were still figuring out. Back in Brooklyn, life felt fragile but full. Maya and I were rebuilding, not just us but ourselves. She painted again, her work bolder, more honest. I wrote, but not for the Pulse, personal essays, stories of us, of love and loss. It was healing in a way. Crane's trial began, and my articles were key evidence. I testified, my voice steady as I faced him in court. He glared, but I didn't flinch. Maya sat in the gallery, her presence a quiet strength. After, we walked along the Brooklyn Bridge, the city sparkling below. "You were incredible," she said, her hand in mine. "So were you," I said. "You didn't run." She smiled, her eyes bright. "Told you I wouldn't." We moved in together, into a new loft filled with light. It wasn't perfect, Old wounds lingered, trust took time. But we faced them together. My series won awards, but the real victory was us. Two women who'd fought for love and won. One night, Maya proposed. A simple ring in her paint-stained hand. I want forever, she said. With you. Tears fell as I said yes. It wasn't the end of our story, but a new chapter, one we'd write together. The engagement ring felt strange on my finger, a promise I was still learning to trust. Maya and I planned a small wedding, just us and our closest friends, in a garden in Prospect Park. But as the date neared, old fears crept in. Could I really let her in again? I confided in Lena, who'd seen me through the worst. You're not the same Ellie, she said. And she's not the same Maya. You've both grown. She was right. Maya was steady, present, her love a quiet constant. But I needed closure, one last piece of the past resolved. I visited Priya, now thriving in a new studio. She thanked me, her eyes bright with gratitude. You gave me my life back, she said. And you and Maya, your proof love can survive. Her words stayed with me. Back home I found Maya painting, her face lit with focus. I wrapped my arms around her, feeling her warmth. I'm ready, I said. For all of it. She turned, her smile radiant. Me too. The wedding was perfect, simple, joyful hours. As we danced under fairy lights, I realized the interview, the series, the danger. It had all led me here, to a love stronger for its scars. Maya had broken me once, but together, we'd built something unbreakable. A year later, we sat in our loft, Maya sketching, me writing. My series had sparked change. New laws protecting artists, galleries reformed. But the real change was us. We were married, happy, flawed but whole. One evening, Maya showed me a painting. A vibrant cityscape, two figures hand in hand. It's our story, she said. Messy, beautiful, true. I kissed her, my heart full. The interview that could have changed my life had, but not in the way I'd expected. It led me back to Maya, to love, to a future we'd fight for together. The world wasn't perfect, but we were. And that was enough.